We're in the record. Good morning, everyone. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia and in accordance with DC Code Section 2571(c) of the Open Meetings Act, OMA, I am welcoming you to the regular scheduled meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. This meeting has been conducted pursuant to guidance made available by the District of Columbia's Office of Open Government regarding electronic meetings held by public bodies. Electronic meetings by the ABC Board are also authorized pursuant to Section 2577A of the DC Code. Pursuant to the OMA requirements, notice of today's meeting was provided 48 hours in advance of the meeting and on ABRA's website and on the district central meeting calendar. The notice included the time, date, agenda, and call-in or login information for public participation. This electronic meeting has been hosted by a WebEx account provided by the District of Columbia government. Please address any questions or complaints to the OOG at opengovoffice@dc.gov. My name is Donovan Anderson. I'm chairman of the board. I would like to introduce the other ABC board members who are also participating electronically. Please respond when I announce your name. Mr. James Short.
Mr. James Short, present.
Mr. Bobby Cato.
Bobby Cato, present.
Ms. Jenny Henson.
Jenny Hanson, present.
Mr. Edward Grandis.
Grandis, present.
The board has 5 members in attendance for the conduct of today, and that constitutes a quorum. Before we get underway with today's hearing calendar, I need to make a few instructions very clear so that the conduct of these hearings is understood by everyone. There are 12 cases scheduled for today's calendar. Once a case is called, I will take a moment for IT specialists to elevate the rights for each party to enable their camera and equipment. Then and only then will you have the ability to enable your equipment. If your case has not been heard, you will remain mute and your camera will be disabled. At the conclusion of each case, the parties will have the option to leave. If the party chooses to stay, all cameras and microphones for the concluded case will be disabled. Should you have any questions or require technical assistance during the hearing, please submit them using the question and answer feature. All right, our first order of business today, we're on our protest status hearing calendar. The first case is case number 22, PRO 00145, the Big Board, license number 87398. Good morning, Mr. Oriana. Can you please elevate the rights of the licensee and the protestant in this case, please?
Good morning, Chairman. Joel Kelty, your access has been elevated. Mark Eckenweiler, your access has been elevated. Currently, David Tyrone is working with him on some joining issues, but I believe he should be on shortly.
All right, thank you. Mr. Oriana, who did you say we're waiting for?
David Tyrone, counsel.
Okay.
David Tryon, your access has been elevated.
Here I am.
Sir, do you have a camera you can turn on?
Yes, I'm trying to do that. Okay, here we go. All right, sorry about that.
Good morning, everyone. All right. This is protest hearing status for the big board. Mr. Tryon, can you please spell and state your name for the record and your affiliation with this case, sir?
You bet. I'm David Tryon, Tryon. I'm sorry, what else did you need from me?
What's your affiliation with this case, sir?
Okay, so I'm an attorney at the Buckeye Institute, and I'm here on behalf of Mr. Eric Flannery and the big board.
I'm sorry, can you spell the organization? We have a transcript, sir. So can you spell the name of the organization you said that the firm that you're with, sir?
Yes, it is the Buckeye, Buckeye Institute.
All right, thank you, sir. Is your client going to be here with you this morning?
Well, I was expecting him to be on the line. I had some trouble getting in, so maybe he was going to try and call in.
He's not. It's not mandatory. I just, as
Okay.
a courtesy, I'm just trying to find it. So we can move forward without him. But if you believe that he wants to participate, then we can find out where he is.
I think we can. This is a status conference, right?
Yes, it does a status. So you're fine if he's not.
I think we can move forward. If he joins us later, it'll be great. But otherwise, let's move forward.
Okay, that's fine. All right, Mr. Kelty, can you please spell and state your name for the record? I'm sorry. Let's start. Is Mr. Kelty? Are you there? Yeah. Please spell and state your name for the record and your affiliation, sir.
Good morning. This is Joel Kelty, Joelkelty. I am the ANC Commissioner for ANC 6005.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Eckenwilder. Can you please spell and state your name for the record and your affiliation with this case, please?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Mark Eckenweiler. The last name is spelled Eckenwiler. I am the chair of ANC 60 and one of the designated representatives in this matter.
Good morning. All right. All right, Mr. Tyrone, are there any preliminary matters in this case that you need to bring? Just preliminary, you need to bring to the attention of the board, sir?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by preliminary. I was brought in, but I'll just mention I was brought into the case fairly recently. I've met with my client a couple of times, on the phone and visually, but not in person. And we've been hoping to get this resolved since I got involved. We just yesterday received a proposed settlement agreement from Mr. Eckenweiler. We had some time to look at it, but have not had an opportunity to respond to it. We would like to respond to it, and hopefully we could reach a resolution. There are a number of things that we're concerned about in there. So that's where we are at the moment.
Oh, that's fine. Mr. Eckenwilder, any preliminary matters on your part, sir?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Kelty?
None.
Mr. Tyrone, it's my understanding that the agency had scheduled a mediation and the mediation was postponed. And so if the parties want the agency to reschedule the mediation, we will reschedule that mediation on the part of the parties.
Yeah, so it's Tryon. It's okay. I'm not offended or anything, but it's Tryon. Tryon.
Tryon. I apologize, sir. Yes,
No
sir.
problem. So that would be great. That would give us some time. The reason we postponed, I asked for the postponement, was we were hoping to be able to have some time to get together and see if we could, if I could meet with Mr. Eckenweiler and whoever else is appropriate to try and resolve things, and then if not, have a mediation, and that would be great if we could reschedule it from my perspective.
Well, a mediation, sir, it's a part of that the agency helps to facilitate the process. So that is an opportunity for you to meet with the parties. So you don't necessarily have to meet with them outside of it. You can meet within the mediation and try to come up with an agreement if that is so. So it's just the agency attempting to facilitate the process. All right.
Right. I understand, Mr. Chairman, and I understand, but to the extent that we can kind of go back and forth in advance, that's always been my experience with mediations, try and resolve things, at least address the issues in advance of mediation to make the mediation more productive.
Oh, that's fine. So
That's my view.
that's fine. The parties are welcome to meet outside of the process or within the mediation.
Okay.
This board supports settlement agreements. We prefer that the parties settle the matters rather than come to the board for the board to issue a decision, because if the board issues a decision, one side is going to be unhappy, the other side is going to, maybe everybody's mad, but at least if the matter is settled, then at the end of the day, the parties can move on and be happy. I will ensure that the agency reschedules, sets another day for the mediation, but the parties are welcome to meet outside of that formal process in an attempt to settle this matter if it can be. All right, so if this matter is not settled, then we'll have a protest hearing on March 15th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Now, hold on one minute. Now that we've scheduled this matter for protest hearing, there are a few things I would like to instruct you about, because the board's practices have changed. As you're aware, all our hearings are virtual. And so it's more important than ever that protest hearings are focused and addresses only those issues that are being protested. Following this hearing, you will receive an email from ABRA Legal that will include a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of a exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. You are required to complete and submit the PIP and exhibit forms at least 7 days before the date of the hearing. If we do not receive a copy of your form 7 days before the hearing, your application or your protest may be subject to dismissal. These documents need to be submitted to ABRA Legal and to the opposing parties. Please know that these documents greatly assist the board in narrowing the protest issues, facilitating the process, and keeping the parties on point during the hearing. Very important, each side is limited to no more than 5 witnesses, and you will only have 60 minutes to present your case. This includes all direct and cross-examination. The board does not intend to hear testimony in matters that are not relevant to those issues that are being protested. Any questions by anyone at this juncture?
Yes. How many minutes did you say for the presentation?
60 minutes, sir. I try to push the parties along. I try to push the parties along, but as you're aware, as an attorney, I have that much control, so I cannot tell you that you're done, that your time is done, so you need to stop. You have to allow the parties to present themselves, but I remind the parties that there's some time limitation, so we do not want this matter to go on all day or all night, and so therefore we ask that only issues that are germane to this matter being protested, and that we don't, being argued, and that we don't bring issues that are not germane to this case to come forward.
Got it. I at first thought you said 6 minutes. I thought that is pretty quick, but 60 minutes I'm very happy with.
All right, thank you, sir. I hope this case does not go to a protest hearing, but if it goes to a protest hearing, I hope you do not live to regret these words, sir, okay? All right, in a sense that you've been very happy. All right. Are there any other questions?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
If I could ask Mark for his phone number to facilitate discussing settlement, I would really appreciate it. What
I'll ask him to do is to put in the chat, sir, because I'm not sure if you know that these calls are, this hearing is on YouTube, so it's on the World Wide Web. So if you can check the chat, so I would ask him to place his number in the chat. So therefore, it's limited to just the folks who are on this call who will get his phone number, unless he wants to provide his information to the entire world.
No, Mr. Chairman, I have Mr. Tryon's email address. We can simply do it that way.
All right, fine. So Mr. Tryon, he does have your correct email address, sir. You two have communicated through email.
We have exchanged emails, yes.
All right, fine. So he will provide you his phone number through email. Okay, fine. All right. I wish you what luck in your negotiations. If this matter is not settled, then we'll see you at a protest hearing on March 15th at 1:30 p.m.
Well, can I ask,
Yes, sir.
so I understood we were going to have a mediation ahead of that. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I will ask the agency to reach out to the parties to reschedule the mediation.
Okay. I thought you were going to reschedule the mediation right now, so that'll be fine.
That's done outside of, it's done by the agency, not by the board, but I'll instruct the agency to reach out to the parties to provide you additional dates for the mediation, sir.
Excellent.
All right. All right. If there are no other questions, have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kelty, all right. The next case on our calendar is case number 22 PRO 00143 Allure Lounge, license number 108303. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Douglas Crocker, your access has been elevated. Ram Grossman, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Mr. Kelty, is this your case, sir?
I am representing ANC 6C, but Mr. Grossman is going to take the lead on this one. I'm just
No,
listening.
I just want to make sure that, okay, that's fine. All right.
I'm here as well.
Mr. Crocker, do you have a camera you can turn on, sir?
Yes, I'm here. All right, can you see me now?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you please identify yourself for the record? Spell and state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Mr. Douglas Crocker, and I'm representing Allure Lounge. And the owner is also waiting to be elevated as well. He's here as well.
Mr. Oriana, can you elevate the rights of who is the owner who's trying to be elevated, sir?
His name is Z.
I'm sorry, sir. I can hardly hear you, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. His name is Duella. I have a hard time pronouncing it. His name is Z.
Mr.
Is it Zeruhun?
Yes.
Can the owner of the establishment, do you have a camera you can turn on, please?
Yes, I just did.
All right, I can now see you,
Can-
sir. All right, sir. Good morning. Can you spell and state your name for the record, please?
Yes, first name Zerihun, last name Amente.
How do you pronounce it, sir? How do you say your name, sir?
Zerion
Your last name, sir, please.
Amente.
Mr. Amente. Good morning, Mr. Amente.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Grossman, can you please spell and state your name for the record and identify yourself, please? You're on mute, Mr. Grossman. I still can't hear you, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I believe so.
I apologize. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Chair and Board. Graham Grossman, Graham, last name Grossman, Grossman, representing ANC 6C.
Good morning. Mr. Kelty, can you please spell and state your name for the record, please? Mr. Kelty, you're on mute.
Sorry. Joel Kelty, Joel, last name Kelty, Kelty, representing ANC 6C.
Good morning. All right, good morning. Mr. Crocker, are there any preliminary matters in this case, please?
Yes. One thing I want to bring up is that when the original protest was
All right,
filed,
hold on, Mr. Crocker. I need you to speak clearly in the microphone because I can't hear you, and I'm not sure if the court reporter is hearing you to create a record.
grab some earphones.
How about that? Is that better?
Much better, sir. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, great. No problem. Yeah, the preliminary matter I'd like to bring up is when the original license was filed, the establishment located at 711 H Street Northeast was located in 6C. Since then, as of June of last year, the mayor and the city council has redrawn the district boundaries for the ANCs, and now we're no longer located in 6C. We're actually located over in 6A now. So the initial question was one of standing, which is what we reviewed initially, and then Mr. Kelty as well as Mr. Grossman had articulated initially in the original agreements that they were attempting to standardize or set and establish standard agreements amongst those establishments that were located in 6C that had a CT license. So for example, the establishment that was just brought forth to the board, had a similar settlement agreement sent to them. I not only represent Allure Lounge, but I also represent Vision Lounge. And the question is, I'm sorry.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
This is about Allure.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I don't want any reference to any other establishments, sir. I'm listening.
Okay.
Go ahead. What about Allure?
Well, Allure now is located in 6A and it's not located in 6C. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention initially, and that we were attempting to align ourselves with other licensed establishments that have the same type of license that's now located over in 6A and not 6C.
So are you asking, what is it you're asking the agency to do? Are you saying that the protestant doesn't have jurisdiction or doesn't have standing to file this protest? Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, actually, we do believe that they do have standing just because of the proximity. I think that I think it's 600 feet, I think is the distance that the ANC is located in. And we're kind of curious does that mean like from the boundary lines or what? That's not clearly stated. So yeah, we do challenge, do they actually have standing? And then their request to standardize the agreements, that would be standardized agreements for establishments that are located in 6C. We're no longer located in 6C, we're located in 6A. So we just asked that the board take that into consideration, and that we responded back to Mr. Kelty as well as Mr. Graham with an agreement from a establishment that's located in 6A. So if their argument is that they're trying to standardize the settlement agreements for establishments located in 6C, we're no longer located in 6C, we're located in 6A.
All right. I just want to get clarification, sir.
Mm-hmm.
if you're raising an argument on standing, then I'm going to ask you to file a formal motion challenging the jurisdiction, and the board will review that and make a determination. So if that's what you're doing, then I'm asking you to file a formal motion and the board in writing, and the board will address that. If that's the only thing I can do. I'm not going to take oral arguments on that issue today. All right, so we know that's an issue. I'm coming, Mr. Grossman. So if that's an issue that you're raising, please file a formal motion, and the board and the agency will address that. Does that satisfy your inquiry, sir? Is that correct?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you much.
You're welcome. Mr. Grossman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Point of order. The ANC would like to notify the board that we have not been served with an affidavit of representation or with ABRA's attorney representative designation form by the applicant's representative. We understand Mr. Crocker is not an attorney. The ANC feels that the participation of the current applicant's representative has prevented the applicant from being properly or justly represented in the proceedings. We therefore request of the board either or both the current applicant's representative be barred from further participation in the proceedings, and or we ask the board strongly encourage or compel the applicant to seek professional legal counsel pursuant to DCMR 23-1706.
Mr. Grossman, thank you for the representation you made. However, that's not the board cannot make that type of determination. It's my understanding that Mr. Crocker has provided the agency the proper designation that, hold on, Mr. Kelty. I have been informed by our legal office that he's a representative of this licensee. So therefore, that is what I have been told. And so therefore, what that says to me is that he has provided the agency with documentation that he's a representative. He's a representative of the licensee. I might be sympathetic or with the ANC, but as far as the board is concerned, he's a designated representative for this licensee, and we cannot get involved in that type of issue, sir. Okay.
Is it fair, Mr. Chairman, to ask that the representative provide and serve the ANC as is required in the municipal regulations to the ANC?
What you're referring to, Mr. Almente.
Yes.
Is Mr. Crocker your representative, sir?
Yes.
We're at the show cause here. I'm sorry, we're at a protest hearing status. The licensee has placed on the record that Mr. Crocker is his representative. So,
thank you, sir.
So, Mr.
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Kelty.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to call to the board's attention. There is a statutory requirement to serve the protestants, in this case the ANC, prior to appearing before the board. It's under Title 23, Section 1707.1 and 2. And regarding Mr. Graham's request that the board urge the applicant to obtain competent counsel, the board has the authority to urge the applicant to do so under 1706.7. Now, we can't compel the applicant to hire an attorney, but the ANC believes it would be in all parties' best interest. And I do note that the board has the authority to make such a recommendation, if not compel.
Mr. Crocker has represented. Mr. Crocker, I would ask that you file the appropriate form. I know that you have entered your parents with the agency to represent the licensee at this hearing.
Mhm.
I would ask, sir, that you comply with the regulation and file the appropriate and form and file the appropriate form pursuant to the regulations in the record, sir.
Okay.
All right, so
we submitted an email from my client to the board.
If
If that's not appropriate, then okay.
No, Mr. Crocker, they're two different things, sir.
Okay.
I am not questioning your authority to represent Mr. Amente at this hearing, sir. You have complied with our procedure that you have informed the agency that you are representing him at the hearing.
Mm-hmm.
What is being requested, sir, is that I don't have the regulations in front of me, but you can please contact Ms. Walker.
Yes.
Ms. Walker will provide you the documentation that the ANC is requesting for you to file, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to go into whether or not Mr. Crocker is competent accountant. He's a non-attorney representative for this matter. I'm in no position at this juncture to make any determination whether or not he is competent or not. But I think that you have made your position clear to the licensee. And so we're hoping that the licensee will listen to what you have to say and make the appropriate determination about who is it he wants to represent him in this matter. Okay?
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chairman.
All right. If this matter is not settled, then a protest hearing is scheduled for March 15th at 1:30 p.m. Now, I want to advise all the parties that if this matter goes to a protest hearing, 7 days before the hearing, the parties are required to file a PIP. Mr. Crocker.
Yes, sir.
I need your full attention, sir. 7 days before the hearing, if this matter goes to a protest hearing, sir, 7 days before the hearing, the protestant and the licensee are required to file a PIP, and this PIP must be served on the opposing party and also ABRA legal. Failure by either side to file a PIP, the board is empowered to prevent that side from relying on documents and witnesses that have not been disclosed 7 days prior to the hearing. Is there any questions by anyone on that requirement?
No.
Thank you. Further, you have 1 hour to present your case, and you're limited to no more than 5 witnesses. Either side, if you have any questions, please reach out to ABRA Legal, and we will provide further information. But within a short period of time, you'll get information from ABRA Legal. Hold on 1 minute, please. Within the next following this hearing, you will receive an email from ABRA Legal that will include a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of the exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. Okay. Any questions by anyone? All right.
No.
Hearing none, good luck with your conversations to see if this matter can be settled. If this matter cannot be settled, then we'll see you at a protest hearing on March 15th at 1:30. On March 15th at 1:30 p.m. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. The next case on our calendar is case number 22PRO00138 and case number 22PRO00142. Rose Marina de Italia license number 109613. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Don Johannes, your access has been elevated. Ann Navarro, your access has been elevated. Glenn Engelman, your access has been elevated. Nolan Guagenti, your access has been elevated. Douglas Melcher, your access has been elevated. Meg Rogansack, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. I would like everyone to introduce themselves for the record by spelling and stating your name, and let's start with the licensee.
Hi, good morning. Sidon Johannes here on behalf of the licensee, and that is SIDONYOHANNES.
Ms. Johannes, is the licensee on the line?
No, she's not.
Okay, fine, thank you. All right, let's have the ANC, Ms. Rogenstock.
Thank you. Meg Rogensock, Chair of ANC 2B, MEG ROGGENSACK.
Good morning, ma'am. Mr. Engelman, please.
Good morning. My name is Glenn Engelman, spelled Glenn, last name Engelmann. I'm here representing the DuPont Circle Citizens Association.
Good morning, Mr. Melcher.
Good morning. I'm an attorney for the group of 70+ individuals. My name is spelled Douglas, last name Melcher. That's Douglas Melcher. Good morning.
Good morning. And I see Ms. Navarro. Can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
I'm Ann Navarro here on behalf of the group of 70+ individuals. Mr. Melcher will be speaking for us. My name is ANN, last name NAVARO.
Thank you. Good morning. All right. Are there any preliminary matters in this case? Let's start with the licensee.
Mr. Chair, this is Douglas Melcher. There is a pending motion.
Mr. Melcher, I'm speaking to the licensee, sir.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
None for the licensee.
Mr. Melcher?
There is a pending motion, pending request for additional time and witnesses, which was filed on February 1. No opposition has been filed, to my knowledge, so I believe at this point it is unopposed.
It is on our legal agenda for today, and so let me see. We will dispose of that issue later on this morning, sir, on our legal agenda. I know that there was a motion was filed, and so prior to the adjournment of our this morning, the board will vote on the record to, and while the board, since we're here, that's an issue that was, let me see, hold on, let me make sure that it's on our legal agenda. Well, since it's on our legal agenda, but since the parties are here, so we can vote on it. So you're saying that what was the motion, sir?
The motion is for additional time and witnesses, takes into consideration the fact that there are 2 protests that have been consolidated. We actually went through this process in the spring. The last time there was a application for substantial change by this licensee, which was subsequently withdrawn, and we carefully analyzed the number of witnesses we would need and amount of time. And we did plan on having approximately the same number of witnesses. Of course, we will try and shorten the presentation as much as possible while keeping it effective. I certainly understand that you want to keep things moving along, but we wanted you to be aware ahead of time that we do perceive a need for some additional time and witnesses, and that has to do with, in part, the fact that we're representing a group of 70 plus individuals, which is, I think, a little bit unique. We also have the ANC and the DCCA, possibly a representative of the MPD, and someone from the business community, as well as a private investigator. So there are a number of witnesses who have non-duplicative testimony that we would like to present, we think would be helpful for the board to consider.
And Ms. Yohannes, it's my understanding that this is unopposed.
Yes, that's correct.
It's on our legal agenda to vote, but since the parties are here, they're asking a question. So I'll make a motion that the motion be granted. The request be granted. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0, so the board has voted to grant your motion. All right. Any other preliminary matters that needs to be addressed at this juncture by any party?
Nothing else. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nolan Guggen. I apologize, sir. Can you please identify yourself for the record and spell and state your name, sir?
Yeah, Nolan Guagenti, NOLAN GUAGENTI, and I'm one of represent the group of 70 as well.
All right, thank you, sir. I just want to make sure that the record reflects that you are present today. It's not required, but since you're here, I want to make the record to reflect that you're here. All right, thank you. All right, this matter then is scheduled for a protest hearing on March 15th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Any other questions by anyone?
No, none by the licensee.
I just want to remind all the parties that that PIP are due. If this matter goes to a hearing, that your PIP is due 7 days before the hearing. Failure by either side, to either the protestant or the licensee, to provide documents and witnesses 7 days prior to the hearing, the board is empowered to prevent that side from relying on documents and witnesses that have not been disclosed 7 days prior to the hearing. And so I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. The board has granted an extension in the sense that yes, you can have more time to present your case and have more witnesses. So we have granted that. So I don't have to say that it's only limited to an hour. But I would remind the parties that if this matter goes to a hearing, because there are 3 protestants and it appears that there might be a lot of witnesses, that I would ask that you streamline the testimony by witnesses, and we do for us not to have redundant testimony. I don't need a witness to say that it's noisy. We all know that if that's the issue. If one or two persons says that, but I don't need 10 people to come and give the same testimony. So just want to remind all the parties that yes, you're going to have more witnesses, but make sure that each witness who testify that they are not repeating the testimony that was provided by the previous witness. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Good luck in your mediation. Good luck in your mediation. If not, I will see you on March 15th for this hearing. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 22PRO00112 / license number 90823. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the protest in this case, please?
Afshin Motagi, your access has been elevated. Rachel Sheckman, your access has been elevated. Larry Handerhan, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
All right, good morning. This is the protest hearing status of Flash. We'll start with the licensee. Ms. Johannes, you represent the licensee?
Yes.
Can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
Yes, Sidon Johannes here as counsel to the licensee, and that is SIDONYOHANNES.
Mr. Motahagi, do you have a camera, sir? Can you please, if you do, please turn it on and please spell it.
Yeah, hi. My camera is on. I'm not sure why the image is not coming through.
Then please spell and state your name for the record.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. There we go. I got it. Yeah, my name is Afshin Matari, AFSHIN, last name Matari, MOTTAGHI.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, let's have the ANC 1B. Who, Mr. Handeran?
Sure. Larry Handerhan, Commissioner for ANC 1B, LARRYHANDERHAN.
Good morning. Ms. Sheckman, can you please spell and state your name for the record, please?
Rachel Sheckman, RACHELSCHECKMAN. I'm part of the Party of 40.
Good morning. Ms. Johannes, are there any preliminary matters in this case, please?
None for the licensee.
ANC, are there any preliminary matters?
None for us.
Group of 5 or more, any preliminary matters? Ms. Sheckman. Ma'am, I can't hear you.
No, sorry.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. Then this matter is scheduled, if this matter is not settled, it is scheduled for a protest hearing on March 15th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Now that we've scheduled this matter for a protest hearing, there are a few things I would like to instruct you about because the board's practices have changed. As you're aware, all our hearings are now. Could everyone please put their please mute their microphone, please? As you know, the board's hearings are conducted virtually, so it's more important than ever that protest hearings are focused and addressed only those issues are being protested. Following this hearing, you'll receive an email from ABRA Legal that will include a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of an exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. You are required to complete and submit the PIP and exhibit forms at least 7 days before the date of the hearing. If we do not receive a copy of your forms 7 days before the, if you do not receive a copy of your forms 7 days before the hearing, your application or your protest may be subject to dismissal. These documents need to be submitted to ABRA Legal and to the opposing parties. Please know that these documents greatly assist the board in narrowing the protest issues, facilitating the process, and keeping the parties on point during the hearing. Each side is also limited to 60 minutes to present your case. The board does not intend to hear testimony on matters that are not relevant to those issues that are being protested. And because this matter has been protested by the ANC and a group of 5 or more, just wanted to let you know, Ms. Sheckman, just as an FYI, if there's a settlement agreement with the ANC and the licensee, your protest falls, and the board cannot force this matter by operation of law. The board cannot force cannot force the licensee to make you a part of a settlement agreement if they refuse to. But just as an operation, because I mentioned this because there are settlements and then the group of 5 or more upset and they come to the board, ask the board to continue the protest, and we're just saying by operation of law, we cannot do that, just as an FYI. Anyway, If there are no other questions, good luck with your settlement discussions if those are active. If not, we'll see you for hearing on March 15th at 1:30.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next case in our calendar is case number 32PRO00141, Hook Hall, license number 109296. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the license, the parties in this case, please?
Ms. Vassar, your access has been elevated. Joseph Florio, your access has been elevated. Lyle Blanchard, your access has been elevated. Ted Brownfield, your access has been elevated. Jennifer Toth, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Thank you. Who's representing the licensee in this case?
Good morning, Chairman Thomas W. Vassar on behalf of the licensee.
All right. Is Ms. Giannis also in this case also too?
No, sir.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
No?
No.
And she just put something in the chat. All right, so Mr. Vassar, I'm not familiar with this. Tell me, I'm sorry, one more time. Please spell and say your name for the record and your representation, sir.
Of course. Thomas, Thomas, Vassar, V as in Victor, ASSAR. I represent the Vegas Lounge.
Apologies, I think I
That's the
elevated the
wrong
wrong
case,
group.
sir.
This is my fault.
That's not the case I've called, sir. So okay. We didn't call this case is Hook Hall. All right, so that's what I was concerned. We're gonna put you on mute, Mr. Vassar, because you're in the wrong case.
No problem.
Is there? Hold on, Miss Johannes. Hold on.
Michael Rath, your access has been elevated. That is all, Chairman. Apologies.
All right. Thank you. All right. Miss Johannes, can you please?
Yeah.
Please identify yourself for the record, please.
Sidon Johannes on behalf of the licensee, and that is SIDONYOHANNES.
Mr. Ray, can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
Good morning, Chairman. Michael Ray, MICHAELWRAY for the ANC.
Good morning. All right, Ms. Johannes, are there any preliminary matters in this case?
No preliminary matters at this time.
Mr. Ray?
None for me either.
All right, this matter is scheduled for a protest hearing on March 15th at 1:30. I've scheduled, all the cases today have been scheduled for March 15th. So let me see what is going to happen on March 15th. But this matter is scheduled for protest hearing on March 15th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. All right. Now that we've scheduled this matter, I just want to remind the parties that following this hearing, you will receive an email from ABRA Legal that will include a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of an exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. Both parties are reminded that 7 days prior to the hearing, you have to file a PIP. Failure by the parties to file a PIP, and once a PIP is filed, it needs to be served on the opposing party and also an ABRA Legal. Failure on each side to file a PIP, the board is empowered to prevent that side from moving forward with their protest or their application. Once we have a hearing, each side you're limited to 5 witnesses. and you have an hour to present your case. Any questions for anyone?
None for the licensee.
And none for the ANC?
All right, thank you. If the parties are still talking towards settlement, good luck with your negotiation. If not, we'll see you on March 15th at 1:30 for this hearing. All right?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, yeah, March. Hold on, just want to make sure that, yes,
March
March 15th at 1:30 for the hearing. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is case number 23 PRO 00003 Vegas Lounge, license number 001273. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the rights of the parties in this case, please?
Will do. Thomas Vassar, your access has been elevated. Joseph Florio, your access has been elevated. Lyle Blanchard, your access has been elevated. Ted Brownfield, your access has been elevated. Jennifer Toth, your access has been elevated. That is all, Chairman.
Thank you. And let me apologize now formally to Mr. Vassar. Now that you're now in the right case, then I have your name. That's why I'd asked the question before, sir. So I apologize for that. So can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
Of course. Thomas Vassar, THOMAS, V as in Victor, ASSAR, and I represent the licensee, Vegas Lounge. No apology necessary.
All right, good morning, sir. The ANC?
Hi, my name is Joe Florio. That's Joe, F as in Frank, Lorio, and I'm representing ANC 2F.
Thank you. Mr. Blanchard.
Good morning. My name is Lyle Blanchard, which is spelled LYLEBLANCHARD, and I'm representing one of the protestants.
Good morning, Ms. Tutt. You're on mute, ma'am. Unmute your line, please.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Toth, JENNIFER. Last name T as in Tom, O, T as in Tom, H, Toth. I am the spokesperson for the Metro Condo Association.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. All right. All right. Are there any preliminary matters in this case? Let's start with Mr. Vassar.
None.
Mr. Florio, you're from ANC 2F03, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, fine. Okay, so our agenda has the wrong ANC. All right. Any preliminary matters on your case, sir?
None.
Mr. Blanchard?
No preliminary matters.
And Ms. Toth?
Yes, I have a preliminary matter, which is in this case, we are concerned with the new dancing, and the lounge does not have.
Hold on 1 minute, please, ma'am. Do me a favor. Your signal is poor. Turn your camera off, and maybe I can hear you better, and I'll let you know, please. Go ahead and speak now, ma'am.
Okay. The preliminary hearing issue I have is that I'm not sure what the issues are in this case. We are interested in the nude dancing, and right now Vegas Lounge does not have nude dancing, and we were wondering if they are going to implement nude dancing or not. If not, we're not interested in protesting.
Well, you can turn your camera back on, ma'am. It's Miss Todd. All right. Yeah, your I think your internet is poor, so that's one of the reasons I'd ask you to turn your camera off to see maybe if we could hear you better. But just want to let you know that is the reason why I made that comment. It is it's my understanding that the purpose of this, what was placarded, is that they are trying to get a nude endorsement on their license. That is my understanding. That was what was placarded, and that is why we are having a protest here.
Sir, they already have a nude
Hold on. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not. All right.
They already have a nude endorsement. They haven't used it, but they have it.
All right. So they have. All right. All right. I apologize for that, Mr. Vassar. I think you are. Mr. Blanchard, please mute your line. So I think someone's phone is ringing. I'm not sure if it's yours, but I'm asking everyone if you're not speaking. All right, let me correct the record. The endorse. All right, go ahead, Mr. Vassar. Explain to us, sir. You're on mute, sir.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I was just Ms. Toth corrected the record herself. The establishment does have a new dancing endorsement. They've had it, I believe, since 1969. That is all.
And this is an application to renew the license, and it's what is it that's been renewed? The endorse. I'm just to correct the record. What is it that the Vegas Lounge is asking with this renewal? What was on the placard? I don't have the placard.
They asked for the renewal of their liquor license. I think they have a CN license and the renewal of the new dancing endorsement, which is the same renewal they've requested since 1969.
This matter was the parties did not participate in the mediation?
If I might answer, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Florio participated in the mediation. Ms. Toth was not able to participate in the mediation at that time because there was at that time a motion. They in fact had been dismissed. They then filed a reconsideration of that motion, which the board granted, that allowed them to participate in these proceedings.
Okay. All right.
I would also point out no one has reached out to me since the mediation, and certain documents were promised by Mr. Blanchard's client at the mediation, and I have not received those.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Grandis.
May I ask a question?
Sure, sir.
Okay. This is thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to the licensee's representative. That's Mr. Vassar. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
So, just to clarify this issue about the new dancing endorsement, it's currently in safekeeping, which means the establishment is not offering nude entertainment at this time. Is that your understanding?
I would have to ask the licensee, but I think that's correct. But again, would ask that I would ultimately refer to the licensee who's not with us today, at least on the video.
It's my understanding from the placard they're simply asking to have the license renewed with the endorsements that they currently are using. And if the licensee does not intend to ask the board to remove the current nude dancing and entertainment endorsement out of safekeeping, the renewal of the application would mean that they would not be utilizing the nude dancing and endorsement until they came to the board and requested that to be removed from safekeeping. Is that your understanding, or do you need to find out from your client?
I need to speak with my client with all due respect.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your indulgence on letting me, but I think that this can be clarified, hopefully, between the licensee and the agency and with the neighborhood on whether or not this renewal includes the removal of the safekeeping of that endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. So I'm not sure if there's any, I believe that the issues were discussed at mediation because I'm not hearing those issues being raised, excuse me, by the ANC or by the association. I think it's by the abutting property owner. I think that the group who did not participate, who were not granted standing at the roll call, so they did not participate in the mediation. I think that's where the misunderstanding is. And so I think, ma'am, I would ask that you reach out, as Mr. Vassar said, that he is open to speak, that you can reach out to him to ascertain what was discussed. And what I'd also ask that you do, ma'am, is also reach out to the ANC, because if a settlement agreement is reached between the licensee and the ANC, your protest falls. Excuse me, as a representative of the group. So I would ask that you reach out to the ANC to find out what the specific concerns are, and whether or not the ANC is in a position to represent your issues, or are your issues separate and apart from the ANC as a whole. Now, Mr. Blanchard, as an abutting property owner, irrespective of what representing the abutting property owner, irrespective, it's irrespective of what happened with the ANC, they'll still move on with the hearing if they're not a part of a settlement agreement, because they have a separate standing. But the ANC, I'm sorry, give me a minute, please. You're off the record for 1 minute. I apologize. We're back in the record. I have to get some water speaking, and I apologize for my cough. Yes, as I stated before, so please have a conversation with the ANC. You can also reach out to the licensee to get some clarification on the issues at hand. All right, any other preliminary matters? Right, either party?
No, Mr. Chair, Mr. Anderson, we did have mediation on February 3rd. And
yes,
as you know, I'm not going to go into those issues because mediation is confidential.
That is correct. All right,
and so your advice to Ms. Toth is appreciated, because she is not doesn't appear to be aware of the issues that were discussed at mediation.
All right, thank you. So as I said, ma'am,
and we didn't make much progress. So hopefully there'll be more discussions between now and the hearing. Thank you.
Mr. Vassa has represented that certain assertions were made, that he's waiting for documents, and so it appears that from what was presented that they're open to further discussions, and the board supports further discussions by the parties. This is a renewal of a license application, and so therefore the board supports settlement agreements, because if it's a renewal, they are an established establishment. They're there, and so if they're going to remain there, then at least if the parties can come to terms about their operation, that's more acceptable, then the board has to make a determination, and then the parties may not be happy with whatever decision that the board makes. So that's one of the reasons why we support having the parties settle this matter, if this matter can be settled. All right, so if this matter cannot be settled, this matter then is scheduled for a protest hearing on March 22nd, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. All right, now following this hearing, all the parties will receive an email from ABRA Legal that will include a copy of a protest information form PIP and a copy of an exhibit form, as well as specific instructions for the hearing. You're all required to submit a PIP 7 days prior to the hearing. Failure, and once the PIP is submitted, the PIP needs to be served on both sides, and also ABRA Legal. Failure by either side, the protestants or the licensee, to provide a PIP, the board is empowered to prevent that person from moving forward. In this particular case now, there are 3 protestants. So the board is asking the parties that if this matter goes to a protest hearing, that you designate a designated representative to represent the to protest this matter. That we're not going to have 3 hearings by 3 parties. So the parties need to, if it goes to a hearing, the parties need to work together and jointly agree on a representative who's going to be the focal person to as a protestant at the hearing. At the hearing, you're limited to no more than 5 witnesses, and you have an hour to present your case. If the party believes that they because of the nature of this case, if they require more witnesses or more time, then you can make a formal motion to the board, and the board will consider that. Is there any other questions?
Just a quick question. Thank you, Mr. Anderson, Chairman Anderson. So you're saying that collectively the protestants have 1 hour and 5 witnesses?
Yes, sir.
Not that each protestant gets 1 hour and 5 witnesses times 3.
It's collectively.
Okay.
If you need more time than that or more witnesses, file a formal motion with the board, and the board will consider that.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Vassar, yes, sir. You're still on mute, sir.
My apologies. Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, at the protest hearing itself, the formal rules of evidence do not apply?
Yes, sir. The formal rules that we do, and again, it is administrative process, so no, the formal rules, but we try to comply with the rules of evidence, but we're not. It's not as in court, so they're strictly interpreted that way, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions by anyone? All right. All right. Good luck with your negotiation. If that's so, if this matter then is not settled, we'll see you at a protest hearing on March 22nd at 1:30 p.m. All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thanks. All right, the next case, we now move to Ashoka's hearing status calendar. The first case in our calendar is case number 22 CMP 00078, Champion Kitchen, license number 103055. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the government and the licensee in this case, please?
Don Johannes, your access has been elevated. Chris Southcott, your access has been elevated. That appears to be all, Chairman.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Southcott. Can you please spell and state your name for the record, please?
Good morning. This is Chris Southcott, first name Chris, last name Southcott. And I'm from the Office of the Attorney General.
Good morning, thank you. Ms. Ioannis.
Sidon Johannes, here on behalf of the licensee, and that is SIDONYOHANNES.
Good morning.
Good
Are
morning.
there preliminary matters in this case? Mr. Southcott?
No.
Ms. Ioannis?
No, not at this time.
Then this matter is scheduled for show cause hearing on March 8th, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Would like to remind the party that if this matter goes to a hearing, 7 days before the hearing, each side is required to file to exchange documents. Failure on either side to exchange documents to witnesses 7 days before the hearing, the board is empowered to prevent that side from relying on documents that have not been disclosed 7 days prior to the hearing. Any questions?
None for the licensee.
None from the government.
All right, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. The next case in our calendar is case number 22-251-00013 and case number 22-251-00013A. The Good Guys Restaurant, license number 0000899. Mr. Oriana, can you please elevate the licensee in this case, please?
Richard Bianco, your access has been elevated. That is all, Chairman.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Southcott. Can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
This is Chris Southcott, first name Chris, last name Soutchcott from the Office of the Attorney General.
Mr. Bianco.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Richard Bianco, RICHARD BIANCO, counsel for the respondent.
Good morning, Mr. Bianco. Good morning again. Are there any preliminary matters in this case?
Nothing from the government.
Nothing from the respondent.
Then this matter is scheduled for a show cause hearing on March 8th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Just want to remind the parties that 7 days before the hearing, the parties are required to disclose their documents and witnesses that will be relied upon at the hearing. Failure by either side to disclose documents and witnesses, the board is empowered to prevent that party from relying on documents that have not been disclosed, that have not been exchanged to either side and offered to the agency. All right? There are no questions. Have a good day. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case in our calendar is case number 22 CMP 00093 Bravo, license number 71564. Are these the same parties in this case for Bravo? Mr. Southcott, can you please identify yourself for the record, please?
This is Chris Southcott, first name Chris, last name Southcott from the Office of the Attorney General.
Mr. Bianco?
Richard Bianco, RICHARD BIANCO. For the applicant, we have no preliminary issues.
Thank you. Good morning again, Mr. Southcott.
And nothing from the government.
Other than this matter is scheduled for a show cause hearing on March 8th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Just want to remind the parties that 7 days prior to the hearing, the parties are required to disclose documents and witnesses that they will rely upon at the hearing. Failure by either side to the board will, unless reasonable cause is shown, the board will prohibit either side from relying on documents and witnesses that have not been disclosed 7 days prior to the hearing. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you very much for your presentation today. All right. Have a great day. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. All right. The next case on our calendar is case number 22 CMP 00063, Death Punch /Shabu /Shibuya Eatery, license number 114937. This case has been canceled. The board approved an offer in compromise on February 8th, 2023, see Board Order number 2023-058. The next case on our calendar is case number 23-251-00003, Air Restaurant, license number 117404. This case has been rescheduled to March 1st, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. And let's move to our afternoon calendar. There was an afternoon calendar case. There is a case in our afternoon calendar, which is a protest hearing, case number 22 PRO 00104 Vision Lounge, license number 121350. This case has been canceled due to the board's approval of the withdrawn protests. So that ends our calendar for the day. Let us now do our legal agenda. The first matter on our legal agenda is a review of a settlement agreement dated February 1st, 2023, by and between the Advisory Neighborhood Commission 1B, the Bar Ziela Group of 5 or more, and Huali, license number 122616. I make a motion that we approve the agreement. Is there a second?
Jenny Hansen will second.
Ms. Hanson, the second. The motion will now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 2, review of a settlement agreement dated February 1st, 2023 by and between Advisory Neighborhood Commission 1B and PROP, license number 121298. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 3, review of applicant's motion for reinstatement of his dismissed application in case number 23 PRO 00007, Bravo Lounge, license number 118192. I make a motion that we deny this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, a second. Motion will now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 4, review of protestants' joint request for additional time and witnesses dated February 1st, 2023. This is case number 22 PRO 00138 and case number 22 PRO 00142. This is in the Rosemaria de Italia case, license number 109613. The board voted this morning and the protest hearing status 5-0 to approve this request. The next case on our calendar is review of the request to withdraw protest dated February 10th, 2023 in case number 22 PRO 00104 Vision Lounge, license number 121350. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 6, review of motion for reconsideration of board order number 2023-067 dismissing group protest dated February 13th, 2023. This is the Harvest Tide Steakhouse, license number 118108. I make a motion that we deny this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 7, review of the correspondence from Councilmember Janice Lewis George from Ward 4. This is an FYI for the board. And number 6, review of the Glover Park Moratorium Zone Notice of Final Rulemaking. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second. The motion will have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. We now move to our licensing agenda. The first matter on our licensing agenda is a review application to add a sports wagering endorsement to its license. This is for Artemis, ARTEMIS, license number 117517. I make a motion that we placard this matter. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis and Mr. Cato second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 2, review application for entertainment endorsement to provide live entertainment inside the premises only. This is for Lola's license number 086141. I make a motion that we placard this matter. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will
Jenny Hansen will second.
Mr. Grandis and Ms. Hanson will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 3, review application for change of hours of operation only. This is for Mr. Rotisserie Chicken, license number 120562. I make a motion that we placard this matter. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 4, review application to change the hours of operation on Sundays. This is for the Good Guys Restaurant, license number 000899. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grandis will second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. Number 5, review request to approve a request for approval to provide a gift of cupcakes that doesn't exceed $500 in value to Lax Wine and Spirits, license number 082054. The request has been made by Breakthrough Beverage, license number 060518. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. We now move to our notice of our agenda rescinding prior approval of section 405.1 and section 404.2 status. The ABC board will be rescinding approval of the license for licenses in section 405.1 and section 404.2 status for the reasons listed below. There are 7 establishments. I will state their name, the reason why, the license number, and why we will be rescinding the approval process. And in the list, I'll make a motion that the board rescind the approval. So the first licensee is Anna Salvadorian and Mexican Food, license number 109015. The applicant did not renew. Number 2, Pop Social, license number 112530. The applicant did not renew. Number 3, Punch Bowl Social, license number 112576. Applicant did not renew. Number 4, Feria, Feria, license number 113445. Licensee did not renew. Number 5, Ella Grace, license number 117794. Licensee did not renew. Number 6, We the Peace Pizza Express, license number 118926. Licensee did not renew. And number 7, Walk and Roll and Lounge, license number 120606. The licensee did not renew. I therefore make a motion that the ABC board rescind the approval of these licenses. There a second?
Ed Grandis will second.
Mr. Grant is to second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short,
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato,
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson,
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis,
Edward Grandis, I agree.
and Ms. Grandis, and I agree. The matter passed 5-0. We now move to the board's temporary license and one-day substantial change docket. On this license, there are 10 applicants. I will read the name of the 10 applicants, the type of license that they are requesting, the event, the occupants, and the license number at the end of the list. I'll ask the board to approve the granting of these licenses. So the first request is from Lana Mahmoud, for one-day license class F. This is for a concert that was previously approved by the ABC board for January 25th, 2023. The new date, however, is now March 2nd, 2023. The license number is 123756, 350 attendants, 5 security guards. Number 2, a request from Vasfi Sasson, VASFI SASAUN, for a one-day license class G, book author with local moderator. This is the event February 16th, 2023. The license number is 123940, 14 attendees, 1 security guard. Number 3, a request from Brenda L. Delaseco, VALASCO, for a one-day license class G for a wedding. This is July 1st, 2023. The license number is 123938, 150 attendees, 3 security guards. Number 4, a request from Renee Holder, a one-day license class G, wedding, May 21st, 2023. The license number is 123927, 200 attendees, 4 security guards. Number 5, a request from Emily Cruz, one-day license class G, dance performance, previously approved by the ABC board for January 25th, 2023. The event now is March 18th, 2023. License number is 123813, 150 attendees, 3 security guards. Number 6, a request from Joshua Leach for a one-day license class G, a wedding, October 21st, 2023. The license number is 123962, 150 attendees, 3 security guards. Number 7, a request from Jennifer Curie, a one-day license class G, annual Ireland at the Wharf. This is March 18th, 2023. License number is 123969, 2,500 attendees in waves throughout the event, 22 security guards. Number 8, another request from Jennifer Curie, a one-day license class G, the annual Cherry Blossom, April 1st, 2023. License number is 123968, 2,500 attendees in waves throughout the event, 26 security guards. Number 9, another request from Jennifer Curie, one-day license class G, annual running off the Chihuahuas. Thank you very much. The annual running of the Chihuahuas. This is May 6, 2023. Rain date is May 13, 2023. The license number is 123970, 1,500 attendants in waves throughout the event, 26 security guards. The number 10 is another request from Jennifer Curie, one-day license class G, fireworks viewing. This is on July 4th, 2023. License number is 123971, 1,500 attendees in waves throughout the event, 16 security guards. I make a motion that ABC board grant these requests. Is there a second?
Jenny Hansen will second.
Ms. Hanson, a second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. And our last agenda item for the morning or for the day is our license administrative docket. This docket contains 6 applicants. This is the last process before the agency issues the license. And so therefore I'm going to list the applicants, the type of the request, and at the end of the list, I'll ask the ABC board to approve the issuance of these licenses. So the first request is a request from Benchmark Wine and Spirits, Brentwood Wine, DC, license number 118102, retailer a liquor store personal auction permit application. Number 2 is a request from SWATHI, the last name is VEERAVALLI, for a personal importation permit. The license number is 23 IMP 00004. Number 3, a request from Shavo Enterprises LLC, trade name to be determined. License number 123486, Retailer C Tavern, New ABC license application. Number 4, a request from the Clayton, license number 120060, Retailer C Tavern, New ABC license application. Number 5, Next Door, license number 077567, Retailer C Tavern, Street Tree endorsement application. And number 6, Amsterdam Cafe Lounge and Restaurant, license number 115293, Retailer C Tavern, corporate name changed to Amsterdam LLC. I make a motion that the ABC Board approve this request. Is there a second?
Jenny
Grandis for
Hansen will
second.
second.
Ms. Hanson and Mr. Grandis have seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Cato, I agree.
Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I agree.
And Ms. Grandis and I agree. The matter passed 5-0. We have now come to the end of our agenda item for the day, and we have now come to the end of our calendar and agenda for the day. So if there's no further ado, I will now close our hearing for the day. As chairperson of the Alcohol and Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with DC Official Code Section 2575B and Section 2575B14 of the Open Meetings Act, I move that ABC Board hold a closed meeting on March 1st, 2023, for the purpose of discussing and hearing reports concerning ongoing or planned investigations of alleged criminal or civil misconduct or violations of law or regulations, and seeking legal advice from our legal counsel on the matters identified on the board's legal, licensee, and investigative agenda for March 1st, 2023, as published in the DC Register on February 24th, 2023. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Grandis.
Edward Grandis, I.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. As it appears that the motion has passed, I hereby give notice that ABC Board will hold this closed meeting. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, notice will also be posted on the ABC Board Hearing Room Bulletin Board, placed on the electronic calendar and ABRA's website, and published in the DC Register in as timely a manner as practical. We have now adjourned for the day. I would like to thank the members of the public who have participated in the hearings today, and also thank the ABC Board members who actively participated in this hearing today. We're now formally adjourned for the day. I now request that all ABC Board members return to executive session for further action. Thank you very much. Have a great day.